Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 2 of Davinci Resolve video editing tutorial from beginner to advanced. In the previous video, we discussed some basic editing tools that we need in the edit page. We also discussed the cut page and the media page. Now we are going to go a little more deeper into the edit page. We'll discuss timeline inspector in this video. So let's get started. Now we'll start off with a couple of tips. Let's say you accidentally mess up the user interface of Davinci Resolve. Let's say I make some I drag it here and there, I delete something, and you want to reset it back to how it originally was. Then you can go ahead, go to workspace tab, click reset UI layout, which is right over here. And once you do that, it'll be set back to how it initially was. So if you mess up the UI somehow, then you can use that. So in the media pool, you can see something called as a timeline. It is named as timeline 1, which actually corresponds to our actual project in the timeline that we have. So this one is automatically generated. It corresponds to our actual project, and it is possible to have multiple timelines for the same project itself. So if you want to create another timeline for the same project, then you can right click and create new timeline with using selected bin, and you can name it whatever you want and click create. I don't want another timeline right now, so I'm going to cancel it. So this timeline is what we are going to finally use to render and get the output video. So you can have multiple timelines, have multiple edits with the same kind of clips that you have to export it finally. Now coming to some of the timeline specific options. So on the left hand side of the timeline, you can see this button. This refers to the timeline view options. So if you want to get different views of the timeline, for example, in the current clips that we have, I'll expand the video tab a little bit. So you can see that the different positions of the character who is dancing in different places of the video as I scroll the playhead, right? But if you want to remove that, then you can go to the timeline view options and click on the last one, which will completely remove everything in the video part. Also, you can go for the one in between, which will actually keep some blank space in between, but I would rather prefer to have the first one itself. Now one quick tip, let's say you have some gap between your media files and you want to remove that. You can simply click the gap and delete it. That is something that you can use especially when you're trimming off portions in between your video. Now if you want to zoom in or zoom out of the timeline, you can either use command ++ or command +- if you're on Mac, or control ++ and control +- if you're on Windows. So control ++ to zoom in, control +- to zoom out. Also you can do the same thing as I mentioned in the previous video by the option over here. Now on the left hand side of the timeline, we can see some options associated with the video and audio track. In the video track, we do have a log symbol, which is used to log the track. So once we log the track, we won't be able to make any modifications in that track, and when I unlock it, I can make modifications now. Also we have a disable video track and audio track selector. This can be used to disable the video, and this can be used to select the audio for the corresponding tag. Here it's a video track, so we cannot select the audio here. And when it comes to the audio track, we have other options. So we do have the log track, audio track selector, and we have the solo and mute options. So mute is to entirely mute the track. Whatever audio is there in the track will be mute when we are playing. Let's say we have multiple audio clips. Let's say we have a background music and music for the current video, and we just want to listen to the background music, not the music of the current video or the audio of the current video. Then we can turn it off by using the mute track. And solo track, on the other hand, will actually mute all the tracks apart from the current audio track. Now I just unlock the tracks, and let's discuss about the tool over here. This is called link selection. Now if I turn it off and let's say I select this part of the video, then I can select the video part individually, and also I can deal with the audio part individually. But let's say when I turn it on, then I'll deal with it together. Also we can do the same thing by right clicking the clip and turning off the limb clips option. And now we can deal with the audio part and video part separately. Also, we can combine them together by holding command option or control option, depending on whether you're on Windows or Mac, and right click and click on limb clips, and they'll be linked back together. Now this lock button over here is a position lock, which is used to lock the position of everything on the timeline. So let's say this is here and this is here. Now I cannot move anything on the timeline except for the fact that I can increase the video size. Now we do have a lock symbol over here, which is just a position lock. Let's say I move my tracks to here and here, leave some gaps in between, and I apply position lock. Then everything, every track, every clip that we have on our timeline will be locked to its corresponding positions. I cannot move it anywhere, but I can increase the duration or do anything with it apart from changing the position. Now when I play the video, it is playing at the normal speed. I'm going to turn on the loop button and play it again. Now if you want to increase the playback speed, you can use the keyboard shortcut L. Once I click L, you can see that it's speeding up. Now it is 2x. Now I can go for 4x and so on. I can use the keyboard shortcut K to stop, and I can use the keyboard shortcut J to backward play. Now what I have clicked over here is the trim edit mode. I'm gonna move my playhead to this last video, and now I have a symbol like this over here. Now if I click and scroll the video sideways, I can change the portion of the video which is going to play without changing the duration. So let's see, this is the whole duration of the video, and I can click and drag to select the portion of the video which I actually have to play without actually affecting the duration or the position of the video. That's a very helpful tool. Now I'm going to bring it back to the initial seconds of the clip, and now I'm going to turn on the next option, which is the dynamic trim edit mode, which is similar to the one that we have previously seen, but it lets us select a position or the duration of the video by playing the clip. Now once I press J, which is for backward play, it is going to play the clip, and we can stop by using K whenever we want. Now if I click K here, the clip from that point till the duration of the video would be selected. Now let's discuss a little bit about the inspector. Now the properties of every clip that you have selected in the timeline can be seen in the inspector. You can turn on and off the inspector by clicking this button. Now let's say I want to see the properties of this video. I can click on it, and the inspector will give me the details. So there are a lot of properties that you can play around. You can play with the values and see what it does to the video and figure things out. So like we have here, you can click and scroll sideways to increase or decrease zoom. I think it'll be a little more easy to work with an image here. So I'll go to the image and put the timeline over here. I'm going to increase and decrease the image and see how it zooms in and zoom out. If you want to reset anything back to default values, you can click this button over here and it'll reset the values back to default. Now there's a link symbol over here. If you click on that, it will unlink X and Y. Now you can deal with them separately. I'm going to reset it back. We can do something similar with the position as well. We have things like the rotation angle, anchor point. Anchor point is the point with respect to which the object rotates. Let's say now when we are rotating, it is rotating with respect to the center, but if we choose a different center, the object will rotate with respect to that center. Now the pitch and yaw effects are used to give a 3D effect to whatever we have. Let's say we increase and decrease the values. You can see a 3D effect with the image that we have over here. We have flip, and you can play around with these settings and figure out what they are. It is exactly what it says it is. And we can do cropping over here, crop from all the 4 sides. We have the speed change, stabilization, lens correction, real-time scaling, and so on. So if you want to deal with the audio part, let's say in case of video, we'll have our audio part also active. So you can change the audio settings by using the audio part in the inspector, and make the changes in the video part by using whatever we have in the video part of the inspector. Let's go back to the image for now, and as you can see that whenever we are changing the value, it's not very dynamic, it's not very user interactive. So if you want to do the same thing by making modifications by using our pointer, then we can choose this option here. So it is called transform. So once you click transform, you should be able to change the size of the image with the help of your mouse pointer by clicking and dragging. Now you can see a point over here which can be held to rotate the object, and now you see the center over here. This is the point called as anchor point. This is the point with which the image rotates. As we changed it in the inspector menu, you can just simply click and drag and rotate it with respect to that point. Now there are other options here apart from transform. There is crop. You can use to crop the clip over here. Now we are cropping the image from all the 4 sides. There is dynamic zoom, OpenFX overlay, fusion overlay, and annotations. Let's discuss dynamic zoom. So if you want to apply a zoom effect like an animation, then we can use dynamic zoom. Now that I have the clip selected and I have applied dynamic zoom, I'm going to go to inspector, video, and there's an option called as dynamic zoom. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to press the swap button. So when I press the swap button, you can see there's the green box and the red box have shifted its positions, have swapped its positions. Now once I play the video, you can see that it is zooming in from the green position to the red position. Now if I swap back and right click, so let's say we want to zoom in from here to this, from outside to this text, and let's say we increase the duration of the video. Now when I play the video, you can see that the video is going to zoom into that specific text. So the zooming in would be from the green box till the red box. That is dynamic zoom, and rest of the options we will probably discuss in a different tutorial.